Welcome to another exciting edition of the P&B Sports Show, where we bring you the biggest stories shaping the beautiful game across Africa and beyond. I'm your host, Abel Sunday. The race for WAFCON 2026 glory is heating up, and Group D has delivered two captivating contests. Ghana's Black Queens sent out a strong statement with a commanding 2-0 victory over Cape Verde, putting themselves in an excellent position to challenge for a place in the knockout stage. Meanwhile, Cameroon showed resilience and experience, battling back to edge Mali 2-1 in a thrilling encounter that underlined why the indomitable Lioness remain one of Africa's football powerhouses. What do these results mean for the balance of power in Group D? Have Ghana announced themselves as genuine title contenders? Can Cameroon build on this momentum and go even further? And where do Cape Verde and Mali go from here after disappointing defeats? To break it all down, I'm joined virtually by one of Nigeria's finest football analysts from the ancient city of Benin, the Abracadabra of sport, Erujon. Just grab your teacup because P&B Sport start now. Welcome back, it's P&B Sports Show, reaching live from the nation's capital. I beg your pardon. And of course, I've been joined by the Abracadabra of sport. We call him that because he brings magic to sport analysis. Eru, good morning, and how is Benin this morning? Do we have Eru on the line? Do we have Eru, or he has not joined us yet? Okay, probably we'll just continue when he's with. Okay, I think we'll have him now. Eru, can you hear me? Okay, let's just start the program. Then I'm sure Eru will join us at the course of the show. We saw what Ghana did yesterday. They had to come all the way to at least they win 2-0, which is very, very important. And yeah, we've seen the Super Falcons. That will not, in fact, that's the biggest news of this week. Super Falcons falling short of glory to the debutant Malawi. Malawi, this is their first time to showcase their talent or to even feature in the WAFCON tournament. But to God be the glory, I'll put it that way. they had to do it against their first ever game against their first ever game in the WAFCON, and it was against the all-time winners, 10-time winner of the WAFCON. And the Malawians, of course, hold their own, and they beat the Super Falcons 3-2. That's a whole lot of statement, honestly, if you ask me. And of course, they had to do it. But Ghana looked at it and said, no, they cannot go short of glory. They cannot do what the Falcons have done. They had to come out strong and see how they're going to. And if you remember in this WAFCON, this edition, a certain South Africa also lost to Tanzania too, which is another big statement because it shows that, of course, the girls that are becoming women, they are no longer girls or ladies that you call the girls that you call them. They are now women, and everybody has grown up. Gone are those days when you could see the scoreline in WAFCON 7-0, 8-0, but now you see that no, they've stepped up a bit. But when we ask you, said, are you worried about the wastefulness? The Ghanaians created an incredible 3.13 expected goals and took 26 shots, but only scored once from open play. Will this lack of clinical finishing hurt them against an elite team? Because definitely you say Cape Verde also, they are debutant in this championship, and they will not you cannot take that away from them. Even holding on to Ghana, keeping the score to very decent way, 2-0, they did not allow Ghana to blow them away, and they make sure that they keep everything intact. I think you have to give them a whole lot of credit. Honestly, you have to give them. But the worry now will be the Black Queens of Ghana. How are they going to fare against when they meet a stronger team, an elite team? How are they going to feel? How are they going to cope with that? Because having created such chances and you could not take your own at a very good day, because on my own, I think Ghana should score come on, at least 5. But it's easy to say. It's easy to say, because if that's the case, our own there Super Falcons would have scored 10, of course, against Malawi. But unfortunately, we lost. I don't know how I'm still going. I think that's even the reason why I'm so down, losing to a certain Malawi. But Eru just joined us, the abracadabra of sport. We call him that because he brings magic to sport analysis. Eru, good morning, and how is Benin this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Abel. It's a pleasure to be with you once again.
Yeah.
Although it's no longer shining, although it's flooded, it has been raining for almost 48 hours.
Yeah, it rains here as well yesterday. It rains here yesterday, and it looks like it's going to rain here again this morning. I think the weather is. I think it's everywhere. I think it's everywhere, and I think yeah, the country is so hot. God need to bring the rain down, because our darling Super Falcons lost to Malawi, so everywhere is so hot. So I think we need the rain to cool down our.
You need it more. You need it more.
To cool down our temperature. I thought after that game, my BP just shoot up, boom. I say, oh Jesus. So how is this Chelsea? How is it Chelsea people faring? Oh, after a lot of disappointment, you will have a certain coach will come and just displace the team. I said, how did this people too fair? If I'm a club fan, then I think maybe by now, maybe it's only God that can tell what will happen. But let's dive into the conversation. We saw Ghana against Cape Verde yesterday. And if you look at the statistic yesterday, we saw 64% to Ghana and 36 to Cape Verde. And we saw shot on target, we saw 26 to Ghana, and Cape Verde have just 6. But Ghana could not even score anything on open play. Why? The question I'm asking now, why is it the open play? Why is it that they lack the clinical finishing? And don't you think that will hurt them when they meet any elite team in the course of their quest to clinch the how they call the WAFCON this year?
Okay, thank you very much. I think events like that is always a two-way thing. When you see a team that largely dominates possession on the gameplay, and they struggle to get goals, it's always a two-way thing. It's either just like you said, they lack team finishing, or on the other hand, the opponent's team is well put together defensively. That is how I always say it. We have seen matches where a team has 10 to 15 shots on target and there's no goal. If you go back to what the game is, you find out that the opponent goalkeeper, out of that 15 shots on target, he made about 8 to 9 saves. And it's always like that. Sometimes some things are lucky. But then again, you will always get, like I always say, you will always get problems when events like that begin to occur. And I'm going to give kudos to Ghana for that performance. That was a statement, because it's a statement performance. That was complete dominance from them against the Cape Verdeans. But just like you think, it should be a sort of worry for them and for the coach as well, because if you continue to say, oh, this is how it's going to be, if you continue, once it meets another opponent to get together against defensively, you can't keep doing that prestige. You can't boast of such statistics and not a single goal from open play. So it's certainly going to be a sort of worry from Ghana. And I just hope that going forward in the tournament, they are able to put themselves together and deliver something better.
Yeah, we hope they put themselves together and deliver something. But who am I to even criticize Ghana? If our darling Super Falcons can fall short of setting Malawi, you remember I told you that I wanted you to come on the show so that we could just bully or brush out South Africa, Bayana. That they fall short. Tanzania is small. Tanzania, I never knew that. Oh, my own is coming with Gilly. So, so I never knew that my own is coming with Gilly. But that's it. But look at the Cape Verdeans. I think we have to give them a credit, because this is the first time they're also appearing in this tournament. And for them to hold their own against Ghana, Ghana did not really blow them up. The 2-0, I think, is a decent scoreline, my own opinion. But let me get yours.
Yes, I will give kudos to the Cavaliers. I think I don't know what the footballing association in Quebec has done, is one to commend, sincerely speaking. When you look at both the male team, their performance at the World Cup being debutant, and then you look now at the female team against the Black Queens of Ghana, is one to applaud. I mean, this is a country that is just an island. There is more up to the population of Lagos State alone, Lagos and Abuja together. And they are making, this is a statement, if you will agree with me, it's a statement. It tells you that something big is happening there. So it's one to applaud them. Ordinarily, before the game, I believe if you had asked me, or if you had asked any other person who is going to watch the game, you probably will hear, oh, the Ghanaian, the Black race of Ghana goes to Ivorian, or goes to male.
Yeah, that's on paper. On paper, they should do that. Even yeah, on paper you say the Black Queens of Ghana is going to demolish
Yes,
the Cape Verdeans, definitely on paper. But now these days, paper does not really reflect the result. Now the actual result, you might be. I got them before. I think
yes.
I
I
think
think what's happening now, what
yeah.
we are seeing now, Mr. Abel, judging by the outcome of the World Cup and even the present World Cup going on, I think one thing we are seeing now is that we are seeing these, in quotes, smaller countries when it comes to football. I'm not saying smaller countries politically or by landmass, when it comes to football. I think we are seeing them begin to spring up. We are seeing them begin to invest in their football. We are beginning to see them do better things. We are beginning to see them come out to tell us that yes, we are no longer can start, we are no longer pushovers. And I think this is a wake up call for the supposed dominant and big teams to put their asses together. That there's a new sheriff in town and business is no longer as usual. And particularly speaking to your darling team, I know you can communicate to them, the Super Falcons. This is no longer business as usual. And these smaller teams are beginning to prove to us day in, day out that they are ready and they are ready to match up these big teams and they are also willing to make statements and deliver results as well. So I think, when you get comfortable, they say in the kingdom of blind men, a man with one eye is the king. When you get too comfortable in a particular sport or position, you begin to think that no level. I think one of the things that ever affected Super Falcons in that game was, in my own opinion, I think at some point they underrated the Malawi team. So this is a wake up call, not just to the Super Falcons, the Ghanaians, and all other big teams when it comes to African football, to wake up and see that these other countries who before now we do not recognize in the grand scheme of things are beginning to put themselves in the know. They are beginning to put themselves in the spotlight. And if these other big teams do not wake up, I can tell you, power may just change hands.
Yeah, power will change hands, but talking about the Super Falcons, because I will defend them anytime. I don't think even them winning this year is not it's no longer news. Them winning, they won 10 times. But for me, they should just finish top four, no problem. Top four is okay for me. Let them just finish and go for the World Cup. It's fine, even if they did not win the WAFCON. But back to what we are saying. But looking at is Ghana ready for Cameroon? Because you saw what they did yesterday. I don't know because with the heavyweights like Nigeria and South Africa already sleeping on the match they won. We'll have South Africa lost 2-1 to Tanzania. I said that earlier, and of course the Super Falcons also lost to Malawi 3-2. Looking at that, the Black Queens show enough tactical maturity today to beat the indomitable Lioness. Because to be honest, I think they've done that. And going forward to their game August, I think it's August 2nd. They are playing they are playing Cameroon August 2nd. But do you think with what the Ghanaians have done now, do they do enough? Did you see enough that they can actually hold their own against the indomitable Lioness?
I think one thing they will take away from the game against the Verde is that whether we bash them from now to the end of this week, they say, oh, they have done better. The fact of them that they won the game, they started on a strong foot, especially when they are telling heavyweight counterparts like you have mentioned, South Africa and Nigeria, they are already trailing the end. It's a good start for them. I will always tell you on this one everywhere and tell everyone carefully. Football will always remain 20% psychological and 20% physical. So this is a good one for their psychology. It's going to boomers to their momentum. It's a good spring up, and it's going to reflect in the game against Cameroon. They are going to go into the game with their head side up. We have delivered on the first day. We'll just take the positives from this game. We see where we should improve, and then we'll change the country's Cameroon. So it's a good one for them. We say when tournaments, that is when you begin on a strong foot, it tends to position you, it tends to position you on the positive angle, on the positive side. Because I mean, tournament has started. Tournament is not a league, it's not a league. Tournament has started. They've struck 3 points already. Defeating Cameroon already gives them a secure spot in the next stage. So they will go into the game with all their arsenal intact. And I strongly believe that given that this result that they have gotten against Quebec, they are ready to go against Cameroon. They are ready to compete. And we may just be so surprised to see that they will deliver an outstanding performance against Cameroon.
Yeah, because one thing I think they were trying to avoid right now, because they're looking at it like, okay, probably the Super Falcons might finish, because I think they're going to play anybody that finish first. They will play who finish second in in Group C. So like, okay, probably they might meet a certain Super Falcons. Maybe might not finish first in their group, might finish second in their group. So certainly one of those teams might just play the Super Falcons, and which you will not want to play at this time or at that time of the that are these quarterfinals of the game. You will not want to meet a certain Super Falcons anytime, any day. But going forward, looking at the next game, which is between Cameroon. But looking at the game, do you think the Cameroonians have done so well? Because of course they scored their first goal against I think through penalties. But looking at what they did so far, what do you think about the Cameroonian game?
In my opinion, I think it's also another game to be positive from. The Cameroonians, in my own opinion, they are not in their best, but we can't take away the fact that there were some positives in the game, and then there were some things that they carried out that looks good for them. So I think one thing I would take out from the game is their readiness. I see readiness game. The only thing that I've not seen readiness is the spark tackles.
But if you keep taking us back to Super Falcons, but Super Falcons, you know that most of their tournament they always don't start strong. I want to use that one as a very strong defense for them.
I'm not ruling out. The funny thing is, I'm not even going to rule out the Super Falcons.
Yeah.
I believe them more than I believe the Super Eagles.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for
I
that.
believe in them more than I believe the Super Eagles. So I'm not even ruling them out. Yes. So, but I think the Cameroonians, they won that game 2-1 against Mali. It's one that they're positive to take away from the game. I see that it's going to be a very fierce encounter between them and Ghana.
But Eru, look at the VAR. Eru, why I even wanted the controversy I want you to even look at is the VAR. The massive 8-minute VAR review before Mali's penalty completely halted Cameroon's early momentum. Do long videos review like this disrupt a team's tactical rhythm, or is accuracy what the way? Because sometimes when you look at it, you say, okay, because you want to get the accuracy, do you think it's really worth waiting? Because look at 8 minutes. If you are a coach, Eru, your team have the momentum. That break, 8-minute break, it might kill down those momentum. It may break your team down. But I want you to tell me the disadvantage of this time wasting. I'll be wasted.
You see, it brings us back to what I said earlier. That football is psychological. When you see momentum like this and there is a break of play, we are humans. It will certainly break down that momentum. That is why you also see that when some teams are playing and they are getting bullied, they are getting pressed, you see what we call a football delay tactics. When a player goes down, he begins to perform like he's injured, rolls from one end of the field to the other. A goalkeeper picks the ball, it takes him 15 seconds to get up from the ground. All of those things is to beat down press. All of those things is to beat down the momentum. So that VAR review for 8 minutes. finish all the there are games that we don't even get up to 8 minutes extra time for added time. And then the review is going on for 8 minutes. You see, it makes me back with father. I don't want to talk about African football. I will get emotional. Things like this, as you have said, and as you saw, it will always break momentum for two reasons. One, there is a lengthy period of the ball being out of play. So that gives even the Malians, your opponent, the enough time to rearrange themselves, to regroup. Also, it lives in the Cameroonians a certain longing because in their own hearts, they are boiling. Let this game begin. Let this game begin. And so emotions begin to get involved. And once emotions get involved in football, you do not always bring out your best. So yes, that lengthy review has helped a very massive percent on the way the game continues. It takes a team with great mentality to continue the game and spring up. Let me quickly take you back to the World Cup. Usually in the World Cup, we always have the hydration break because of the wet conditions in the countries that was the tournament. Go and check 70% of the games. Whenever they went on hydration break and they came back, go and check it. The momentum of the game to pick up again that momentum. And before you already have time. So things like this are bound to happen when there is any breakage of play in the game of football. It brings down that momentum. You have to pick it up back again from the start. It's not that when you start a generator, it goes off. You have to go through the process again of trying to restart the generator before things will pick up. But I think another thing that made it get to that level was the referee wanted to get every single angle in that penalty incident. Because if you check very well, initially he did not award. I think he was called by the VRO and advised to see the monitor screen. And I think at first or second glance, he still was not showing anything to the VRO where the penalty needed to be given. And so he had to watch it from every single angle and every camera angle involved before the decision was taken.
Indeed, and I think that's one thing about basketball. So when you talked about breaking momentum, most coaches look at their game. I know you can take you can take I think 5 timeouts in basketball for the entire game. I think 2 in the first half, 3 in second half. The coach they always manage that timeout. And when they find out that probably the other team have a good momentum against their team, they just have to take the timeout just to break down the momentum. And this is another one I think for football. Yeah, I think this for football is another thing that's going to also affect some persons, especially when the thing happens against you. You will not be happy about it if your team have the momentum and somebody had to now maybe take that long time just to break the momentum. Of course, I think that's why we're going to wrap it up. Wrap it up today's edition of the P&B Sports Show. My sincere appreciation to our guest from the Asian city of Benin, the Abracadabra Sport, Eru John, for his insightful analysis. Thank you so much, Eru, for doing this with me today. Though we did not bash South Africa as we wanted to bash South Africa. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And to you, our viewers. All right. And to you, our viewers, thank you for watching and being part of the conversation. Keep following the action as WAFCON 2026 continue to deliver excitement, surprises, and unforgettable moments. Follow us across all social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on IG at PNBTV_English, and on X at PNBTV_ENG. Coming up next is The Voices with Madina Hazaki. I'm Abel Sunday. Until next time, it's bye for now.